Now, Sam, if you don't mind, because, you and I have been working together all day today, why don't you tell Charlotte what I said to Sonya Deville earlier today?
Oh, it almost got I did. It got awkward because Dave Lagreca to Sonya Deville's face said that he believes that Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler in the world. You said that.
No, I didn't say that. I said of all time.
Of all time.
Because I can only speak the truth. How am I I'm not going to lie. I have to speak the truth.
I mean, it is. I wasn't going to say it in front of Sonya, but it is true.
Yeah.
Sonya's doing a great job.
No, she is.
She's doing an incredible job.
She's doing an incredible job.
An incredible job.
I'm super proud of her.
But so are you. I mean, for you to be in a position, right, where you spent so much time working so hard on getting fans to boo everything that you did, and then you go away and you come back, and now it's time for you to get fans to cheer everything that you do. That's no tiny task. People got very comfortable booing you.
So I think the key is just let them react. Like, I'm not thinking, what can I do to make them cheer me? Like, there's no active thought, well, I have to act this way, or the only thing I'm really focused on is how I approach promos. Maybe don't say 14 times 4 times, or like on Monday Night Raw, don't say I beat these women to get here, I faced these women. Just like little changes like that. But
and a general disdain. There was a disdain in your tone that used to be there. You knew you were better than everybody, and now it's like, I am better than you, but I'm not going to rub it in.
Yeah.
I'm
just going to rewrite history and pretend I didn't have this and just happy to be here.
Yeah.
But I also think there's something about, and we see this in other sports as well, like Tom Brady, where there's greatness hate. When somebody is so good and somebody is so successful that people are just going to have that kind of aura about them. And I believe that, and I'm not just saying it. This isn't a joke. We talk about it on Busted Open all the time, mostly Bully and I, about that there are certain athletes, you being one, that are in an elite class, that are head and shoulders above other athletes. I believe that when it comes down to it, you're the greatest right now, but I do believe that when we look back at it, you're going to be the greatest of all time.
Oh, man. That's a lot of pressure. Thank you. I guess like when I had the opportunity to talk to the fans after I beat Ronda in that first promo back, like I really did mean what I said. Like, consistency, passion, and dedication have always been my driving force. Like, I still have had all these opportunities and done all these things, but I still go, there's little things that can be better. There's little things that can be worked on. There's always that next big rivalry. How do you... I'm never complacent. And that was how I'm kind of approaching this, like, good guy, whatever run. It's not, bragging about what I've done, but saying, hey, we've done this on this journey because of my love for being in the ring for you guys, the fans. Like, not that corny, but like, like, even though I've been bad most of my career, consistency, number one, and dedication and passion have been, I guess, what got me here.
Yeah. I always find it really interesting that, like in the documentary that was just done about your dad, that part of the Ric Flair story that I don't think anybody realized until much later were the insecurities that he had. And that even points where people like me and Dave just were like, well, of course Ric Flair's the greatest, and of course he knows he's the greatest. He's going, I'm not the greatest. He's having this thing. And it reminds me of when I hear you talk now and when you've talked in other interviews where you are super self-critical. And you are saying, oh, I got to do this better. I got to do that better. And it's really interesting to me that with all the comparisons that get made and what got passed down, that I feel like that thing, whatever it is, and it probably is what makes you guys great, also got passed down.
Yes. No, 100%. But But I feel like my dad and I, what our insecurities are like totally different. Like someone in an interview asked me while I was away, was I worried about someone taking my spot? I was like, no, like absolutely not.
Yep.
And I meant that.
Yeah.
Like that's not, like I will always be someone in history. And like you guys said, probably in 20, 30 years, I'll have way more respect than I do now. But my insecurities are more, they're not even insecurities. It's just nothing is ever enough.
Sure.
Maybe it's just nothing's enough. Like the performance is never enough. Like I know that I still have like room left to grow. Like I don't think I've peaked. Like even though people might think that, like if you look at my last run, even though I didn't defend the title like ever, I still got better every week. On the like,
Yes.
Well, I think when you have so many moments and there's so many different runs, like for me, I go back to WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. First of all, one of the best
Shadows of New York.
Easy, pal. I'm a New Jersey native, so one of the best WrestleMania entrances, right? With you, like your dad from Great American Bash coming down at the helicopter. Yeah. But I also feel that main event, you were the glue in that main event. You had Ronda Rousey, who's the mainstream athlete. You had Becky Lynch, was, now having that hot run that the crowd was getting behind. But you were the glue. That match could not have happened if you weren't there and being a part of it. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Good. I'm glad you do.
But I don't, like you said, like you have this hot babyface Becky Lynch the fans love.
Yeah.
You've got this woman who did pave the way that showed that women could main event pay-per-views, UFC. Like I definitely feel like I made it all come together.
Yeah.
Like yes, the narrative was fun to say that I was shoehorned or however the inside circle wants to talk about
bullshit.
me. But
Excuse my language,
I know what I
bullshit.
brought.
Yeah.
I know what my purpose was. And looking back now, I'm okay with that.
Where does that perspective come from? Like, I think that you're right in what you're saying about how the way people look at you 25 years from now, 30 years from now is going to be completely different than the way you're looked at or treated right now. But most people don't know that as it's happening. Most people don't have that perspective, right?
Because do you feel like people are constantly poking at me and I never give them anything?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, I've been so consistent in the public.
Yes.
Like, and maybe, like you said, watching my dad's documentary, maybe the only insecurities you hear, like I never put down other talent to prop myself up. Or like, there's constant Charlotte hate like on media, like but I don't
absolutely.
like it's over here.
You don't feel it. You don't feel it.
I don't feel that.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sorry, I couldn't find the word. I don't fuel it, and I feel like sometimes that's what they're looking for. Like they want me to like no, I was a part of helping 35 happen. Like no matter what they want me to say, they can, no one will ever take that away from how I feel about myself and the performance and the storyline.
I also love that you don't address it though. Like these sort of like when they go like, oh, this is what's happening behind the scenes. This is what Charlotte's doing. And you're like, obviously everybody sees it, but if it's not real, I never hear you address it. And I think that more people should go,
agreed. This
isn't reality. There's no reason to give something credence if it's not reality.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh my God. I will never let the opinions bring me to their level in the public eye.
Sure.
If that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And you shouldn't. And, this is going to sound kind of maybe off the grid a little bit or a little crazy. But,
boy.
And Sam knows this. My favorite all-time pro wrestler is Ric Flair. And and your dad has been on our show many times and has talked about you and how
No. Really?
and talked about how you have surpassed him. And at the same time, at Raw 30, I almost wish that he didn't introduce you, because I feel I really do feel like it almost felt like a disconnect at this point in your career. Like
he's gonna bash you on his podcast next.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're gonna be the next victim. A little video clip about Dave Lagreca coming.
No, but does that make sense? Like, it almost feels like, man, you're on this other course right now, and it almost felt like a disconnect for me to see him introduce you at Raw 30.
Yeah, so when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, I don't know how many other opportunities I'm going to have with my dad. This is cool. But I didn't think about it visually.
Yeah.
And then it happened, and then I went home, and I sat on the couch with Manny, and we were kind of talking about, I love this segment with Triple H and the...
And the Imperium?
Yes.
Yes.
Love the segment, kind of like the passing of the torch idea, and with Taker or whatever, and I just looked at Manny and I was like, ugh, I had my dad. And Manny was like, yeah, I know, it felt weird. Like, watching, he was like, yeah, I wasn't needed. Like, yeah, I was like, I know. I was like, not that I love my dad.
No, and I
and
love your dad.
It was kind of like his music played, and I had the same like I don't know, like it's not about loving him or the idea, but
of course.
But we both kind of like, it's funny that you said that. We both kind of sat on the couch and we were kind of like, that wasn't as cool as it was supposed to be. Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
But that's the thing. Like, 4 or 5 years ago, the perception of you was different than it is right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of people that don't even connect the two
Not
at this
anymore.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I bet there are people watching now that have never even seen a Ric Flair match that are watching Charlotte.
Well, you know what? Anybody that's listening right now that hasn't seen a Ric Flair match, the I Quit match between Terry Funk, okay?
That's the one.
That's the one to watch.
No, but they might have seen him smoking weed or in a rap video.
That's true.
Dad, you're the coolest dad ever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's so mainstream though. Like, people know who, but they don't
100%.
They don't associate like Ric Flair. Like, I'm no longer that daughter.
No, and you know it's
No.
crazy. It's like there's certain
Total different.
Two different things.
Yeah.
because like when Ric Flair was at the height of his popularity,
You were what, 35?
nobody knew who Ric Flair was. Like, I would be taught, everybody was all about Hogan. Nobody knew.
Yep.
And now, like, decades after he's retired, he's a household name and everybody knows who Ric Flair is. It's
I know.
crazy.
And but you're right, because everybody also knows who Charlotte Flair is, and I don't think it's connected.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think to your point about Raw 30 and the passing of the torch, it was already passed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yep. Good
That's
point.
how you, yes.
Yeah. We already that torch has been passed.
Like Charlotte's already ran with that torch a while ago. It's burnt down the building.
It's soot at this point.
But I mean, I get, like, to me, it's having those moments with him on TV and a reminder that taking someone like him, that me as a woman was able to do something like that.
Yeah.
But for the first time in my career, I was like, wow, I've really already taken this torch.
When you come back at the time that you came back and you immediately become the SmackDown Women's Champion, are you starting to think, okay, just the way timing works, I'm envisioning defending this title at WrestleMania? Or are you not thinking that far in advance?
I definitely didn't think I was going to be champ off the bat.
When you first night back? Yeah.
I didn't know about that till like 2.5 hours before showtime.
Day of, yeah.
Yeah. But I knew the direction I wanted to go. Like, it felt weird if I didn't come back and go after Ronda again.
For sure.
Like, that, if I had just ignored her, even though we've been in and out of storylines for the last couple of years, like, I needed to go back to Ronda. And where I went from there, I just didn't think I was going to have the same reception every week. Like, it almost gets better.
Yeah.
Like, you always get that one good,
yes,
yay!
Welcome back.
But it's been that way even on live events.
Yeah.
So I'm committing to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's, I mean, people pick up on the nuance. And I think what you're doing right now as Charlotte Flair is giving people the opportunity to appreciate what you've done, right? When you're a villain and you're going out there and just doing it all yourself, talking about how you are better than everybody, you are the best. Why would we tell you that as well? We're going to boo you, right? But when you're kind of in a humble way, not acknowledging it, but not making that the point, it kind of allows people the opportunity to go like, yeah, we've appreciated you this whole time. We just didn't have a reason to cheer for you before.
And sometimes I felt like, I don't know if you guys felt like this watching, but there also was a point where like people didn't know whether to cheer or boo.
True.
Sure.
Because there are some times when I was a bad guy and, well, there really was no reason to boo.
Right, like tonally, based on the tone of her voice, I should be booing. But everything she's saying is true.
Yeah.
And I don't like the other person.
So that was
sure.
also like hurting the reaction, I felt like.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it started, though, with Becky because, like, Becky got the punch to the face, the broken nose, and I think everybody at that moment wanted to cheer her, but it didn't switch at that point. And I think people wanted that switch to happen.
but I wasn't the performer then that I was now, or I understood the nuances. Like, as much as I didn't like, well, I loved our last woman standing match, but as much as I didn't like some of my performances watching back with her, it's just I didn't know better. And then now, had I not gone through that sequence of events, I would have never learned so many things. Like, I learned so much.
Do you know, when you're at that level, right, where you already are a multi-time champion, you're years in the game, like you're already at the top of where you think you are, do you, for lack of a better way of saying it, do you know what you don't know? Meaning the stuff you know now that you're going, I wasn't the performer then that I am now. Then did you know, I need to learn this stuff? Or do you not come to that realization until you actually know it?
You don't come to that realization until you actually know it.
Right.
Well,
it doesn't even occur to.
Oh, because I was just too in it.
Right.
I wasn't like able to take myself out of it, but I don't even think I had, because people don't realize I started wrestling so late. So I was like always playing catch up. So at that point, like, I had, my skills were kind of there. Like, I don't know. Wrestling, was getting it down. Like, still had like the big moment with Asuka, but I wouldn't say like the complete package. Like, my presentation even got better as time went on, but I couldn't take. There were so many other things I needed to learn to realize what I was doing wrong. Like, one of the producers one time told me, was like, you're denting a Ferrari. Go out and be good. Like, why are you being less than in your performance? Because I'm like, because I need them to like me. They're like, but they like Charlotte. What are you doing? Like, that stuck with me, denting a Ferrari.
Yeah.
So, like, when I had that match with Ronda and I was just like not worried about cheering, booing, I was just like, I have to impress everyone to stay in the game. Like, that's how I should have taken the performance when I was a babyface then.
Sure.
Like, that's how I take, like, now it's like, be good at what you're good at, but the promo is what needs to change, and the smile, like, those things.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
yeah, the facial expressions. Yeah.
You and Sasha had this amazing chemistry in the ring together, which was magical and I think will be talked about for years to come. Is there anybody on the roster now that even comes close to the chemistry that you had with her?
Did you watch Rhea Ripley and I Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard because she's big. Sasha's small, but there's a lot of chemistry there. Like even our
WrestleMania match.
that was put together in like an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because it was the PC day. Like
But
we
that's-
were
and
told
that's-
we were on the first day.
But that's the other thing. Like, I mean,
Oh, and
the
Asuka.
fact that it was in front of no fans.
Oh,
and
with
Asuka.
Asuka.
I think, though, going back to the Rhea Ripley stuff, like,
We just haven't had to try hard at it.
And I think over time, there's going to be so much more to the Charlotte Rhea Ripley thing. I think that those are paths that are going to keep running against each other.
Because
and I think,
we've always been start, stop.
Yeah.
There's never been like a full.
But you also both are growing exponentially all the time.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You're getting
yeah.
better, and then she's getting better, and you're getting better, and she's getting
Yeah.
better. So it's
Just
like,
perception-wise,
Right.
too, Rhea right now. Not even without even her stepping into the ring, she's a star.
so it's like every
Yeah.
time you guys meet, the match gets bigger
Yes.
and bigger and bigger.
But it's hard. Sasha and I just. I don't know. How do you compare that? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But we
so-
also had like that series. I have never had a series like that with somebody else to show that off. So there's that too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Asuka and I really have only had like that one big match and then like a couple random things there. And then Rhea and I start, stop.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
Yeah.
I get you are the champ, so you're in demand. And I truly appreciate the time.
thank you.
Because of you, you got me back into Guns N' Roses. Now I'm listening to Guns N' Roses again.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Hell yeah.
But I stand by what I said at the beginning of this interview. I think you are, without a doubt, the greatest. And when it comes down to it, the greatest of all time.
Thank you.
What
I
a
just
way
won't
to
say that in my
close.
promos. Thank you.
Thank you.